I have untold thousands of photos from a half century of taking pictures. And now I'm sorting through the many thousands of photos that Diane took during the course of her life. Earlier today, I ran across this photo of her. I took it, but I'd forgotten about it. It was in one of her boxes of prints. Back in the summer of 1994, Diane and I took a vacation to British Columbia. We flew to Seattle and rented a car, and then drove into Canada. We were there for about 2 weeks, and we had a lovely time. Diane adored the area. Being British herself, she appreciated what remained there of British culture and customs. We had high tea at the luxurious Empress Hotel in Victoria, and we enjoyed touring the colorful and vibrant Bouchard Gardens. Diane especially enjoyed our multi-day drive around the Sunshine Coast, taking the ferries and staying at delightful, those are her words, B&Bs. We went on some pleasant hikes too. We photographed plenty of marine mammals, and ancient petroglyphs of marine mammals and mythological creatures too. There was so much to see. The place that Diane liked most was the small village of Tofino, located on the remote west side of Vancouver Island, where the then new Pacific Rim National Park had been established. We rented a cabin on the beach, and when our time was up, Diane didn't want to leave. Actually, she wanted to live there. We were only in Tofino for a few days, but it could have easily been forever. For our final day in Tofino, I surprised Diane with a whale watching tour. Early in the morning, we boarded a small Zodiac inflatable, capable of holding about 8 people, and then we rocketed north to Clayoquot Sound, a remote and heavily forested area north of Tofino. Our captain was a daredevil, and he drove the Zodiac twice as fast as I felt comfortable with. I heard that once we got off the coast in open water, we were going as fast as 45 to 50 knots per hour, and I've no reason to doubt it. The boat skimmed across the top of the waves, and I couldn't stop wondering if such boats ever went airborne and flipped. The water is so damn cold in that part of the world. How cold is it? Fortunately, I didn't find out. After what seemed like a brief eternity of fear and discomfort, we arrived at Clayoquot, and in no time we spotted a pod of humpback whales. Over the course of that day, we would see many whales. Every so often, the skipper would move to an area maybe a quarter mile or so from the action, and then cut the engine. If we were lucky, the whales would slowly come our way, or else we'd drift toward them. We were lucky that day, as we were often surrounded by the great beautiful beast. At times they were so close that Diane and I could smell their awful breath, and once she and I were both able to reach out and pet one on its snout. That was an amazing experience, to pet the snout of an adult humpback whale. The beast dwarfed our small Zodiac, but it was so gentle and so kind. Diane was in her element that day. She was really beaming. At the end of the day, after we had left Clayoquot Sound and were headed back to Tofino, I snapped this photo of Diane. She was sitting in the bow of the boat, and she was beaming. For years after this trip, Diane would talk fondly of Tofino. We spoke of returning, but we never did. I wish we had. In time, we all but forgot about Tofino, as other amazing places we visited took its place. But seeing this photo today brought it all back to me, and seeing Diane's beaming smile made the memory even more real and poignant. How I'd love to go back in time and relive that day with her once again. There comes a time in all of our lives when we think about the things we didn't do. Try not to have too many of those. It makes growing old a bit easier.